Dude, today I submitted my annual tax declaration form with my company, and obviously I chose the old tax regime because for financial year 23-24, I think that is really advantageous. I'm surprised you used the old regime because then the new regime is way more beneficial for the financial year 23-24. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what regime under the Income Tax Act is more beneficial for individual tax filers for the financial year 23-24. Hi, I'm Yashwan Nijgal, a chartered accountant in practice. So let me tell you why the old regime of Income Tax Act makes more sense. Under the old regime of the Income Tax Act, an individual can get several deductions which are not available in the new regime. For example, for income under the head salaries, you get deduction of 50,000 rupees as a standard deduction. In addition to this, you can also claim deduction for all the allowances such as leave travel allowance and your conveyance allowance, your medical allowance, and also your HRA, which is basically house rent allowance. And for income under the head house property, you can get deduction for the interest paid even if it is a self-occupied property. And most importantly, under the old tax regime, an individual can claim deductions under Chapter 6A, which basically includes your ATC deduction like your insurance premium or children's education fees or housing loan paid, your medical expenses under Section 80D, and all the other sections or deductions which are available under Chapter 6A. Dude, while that is true, let me tell you the advantages of the new tax regime. The first one is the basic tax exemption limit is 3 lakhs under the new tax regime as compared to 2.5 lakhs under the old tax regime. Secondly, I don't have to pay taxes up to 7 lakh rupees, which is to say if my income is less than 7 lakhs, my tax liability is 0. And thirdly, though many of the deductions are not available in the new tax regime, the tax rates are much lower. As an added point, keep in mind that for financial year 23-24, the standard deduction of rupees 50,000 for salaried employees is available under the new tax regime as well. Buddy, I think after hearing your pointers, in my case, opting for old tax regime makes more sense. And in my case, the new tax regime makes more sense. I think we can agree that both the tax regimes has its own merits and advantages. So I would like to highlight two things. One is that there is no right or wrong tax regime. It purely depends on the tax slab under which the individual falls under, and also the quantum of deduction that the individual has, and this should be the basis for deciding on the tax regime. And second, I'm sure that many of us have already submitted the tax regime declaration form with our employers, and it doesn't matter what you have declared, you can always choose the right tax regime while filing your annual income tax returns.